Cool. Here we go. Good evening, guys, and welcome to it. It is a Tuesday after the Monday after the Easter weekend, and that's why Frontrunner is bringing you Monday Night Football on a Tuesday night, just for us to be able to reflect quickly on what's been happening in the cycle as far as local football is concerned, both here in Kaizer and, of course, on the rest of the continent. I'm back after a week's break. I wasn't feeling too great last week, but I fully recovered. But now we're also going to focus on what's happening tonight with the AFCON 2023 draw also happening as we speak. So we're going to reflect on that as those machinations and those pots and those draws get done up. Joining me, I have Coach Kevin Johnson. Coach, good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Good evening, Gamza. And again, thank you for having me on your show. And good evening to all the listeners and all the viewers.
Always good to have you on, Coach. Always good to have you on. I'm finding out so far that in the draw, just to give you some live news, Coach, you've got South Africa, Zim, and Liberia in the same group so far. It's Zim, Liberia, and us so far in Group K. This is not complete. There's still more other teams. I think a couple more teams to be drawn. And then, we'll have the Group K in full. But so far, Coach, Zim and Liberia as foes for qualification. Not too dreaded a start for our attempt to be at next year's AFCON. Welcome.
Kamza, we always say this in the beginning, eh? Whenever they have draws, we always think, Zim, Liberia, you know what? We can get there. And then we find ourselves drawing the last game and poof, we were not supposed to draw it. We were supposed to win it and we're out. So I'm not holding my breath for this draw because I think both other nations, Zimbabwe and Liberia, are always in for us. They're always there to give you a surprise or to do something else. Because, we haven't realized yet the power that South Africa has amongst all South African nations, all African nations. People look at us as the Europe of Africa.
Right.
The same way they look at the North Africans, they look at them as the Europeans of Africa, except that they speak a different language and we are completely different as well. But the two ends, the South and the North, are like the Europeans. You get what I'm saying? So who's ever in the middle, they're always going to put you. They're always going to make it a little bit more difficult for us. And until we realize that, guys, let's stop partying around, or let's stop fooling around with mediocre teams, and let's go out and be like an Egyptian or like a Moroccan or like an Algerian. Let's be like that
and dominate.
Until we hit our head against some brick wall. We will never get far. Zimbabwe will beat us. I think if you put the stats, South Africa versus Zimbabwe, you will find that maybe we even.
I don't know if it is much of a muchness. I hear you, Coach. I hear you. I can't imagine it is that much of a difference between the two nations. Let's see who else is going to end up in that pot. We'll probably find out by the time we're done with tonight's show, and we'll give you a full breakdown a little later. Now, focusing on what's happening locally as far as football was concerned, we obviously heard the big news last week of Tembo being dismissed or relieved of his duties at Supersport United. They then bring in his assistant at the time, who is Andre Arendse, to take over for the game against Kaizer Chiefs. And then lo and behold, what happens? Chiefs managed not to win that one at home after wave of attack, just not being able to get the ball into the back of the net. And on the day, all 3 points being sealed by Tamika Buza, getting that winning goal in that game. Your reflections on that one, Coach, because soon after, Coach Stuart Baxter came out and was told that the fans might want him to vacate his position as head coach. And he said, listen, I don't mind. If the fans and the management don't want me here, I can leave. But I am the guy who won them something, so they should be careful what they wish for.
Look, I watched both games. I watched the game for Andre Arendse. And it always works like this, I think, as a coach. A new coach always sweeps clean or always gets the best. The same thing happened at AmaZulu. Brandon Trutter came in and two games, got 6 points. So it somehow in football, whatever happens, and I've been there before, Gamza, it always happens.
Yeah.
It seems to happen all the time. Players just seem to take another gear, or the ball falls for you and you score the goal, and that's it. Everything's this is our man. We should have done him long ago. We should have got him long ago. You know what I'm saying? As a coach, what Stuart says, sometimes I also feel that in these opinions, I have to give my own opinion. I wouldn't handle it like that, because sometimes people want you to talk. They want you to say something. And I always say that, the football is played in 90 minutes. Whatever I say after 90 minutes or before 90 minutes doesn't hold any water.
Right.
Doesn't hold, but that's my own opinion. And I normally talk. Yeah, after the game, it's easy to talk, Hamza. I can say what I want to, and I can tell you this ball should have fallen there, the referee should have done this.
Yeah.
But the 90 minutes is over. And I always go back and I say to myself, I've taught myself this, that I can blow square bubbles and I can have the direct line to God. But he'll tell you straight, I cannot change history. It's history now. You know
what do you think of that, of a coach kind of, tapping into their own personal history? I mean, is that something you as a coach would do? Go out there and remind people of what you've done for them? Or is it part of being a great coach, thinking to yourself, well, that's in the past, and I'm probably going to get judged on what's happening right now and in this season, as opposed to holding it over the fans of the club that, hey, guys, I'm the last guy to give you some silverware?
That's exactly what my own opinion I would not do. And probably when you look at a lot of bigger coaches that have won a lot of trophies, they don't talk about that. I never talk about what I've achieved. I've achieved a lot in my life, Gamza, as far as maybe not a lot of trophies, but I've got a lot of other things. I've got a good family. I've got a good life. I live healthy and things like that. So that's cheap. Forget about what other people are saying about you. Do what's coming tomorrow, and be positive about that. But don't, it's like what they call about, I don't like to brag about what I done before. So, but talk about the game going forward, and I like, that's my own opinion. I don't do that.
Now, I mean, if someone brings that up, does it then go that maybe, if you want to focus on the results of the past and want to, tell us about all the great results, we're going to judge you by results. So in terms of no silverware this season, and the best they can hope for is a second placed finish, is that the kind of run that a coach who cares to point out that he wins things for a club, is that the kind of run that should then keep him in his job? If, you come to the end of the season and you're empty-handed as Kaizer Chiefs?
Oh, it's difficult for me, Gamza, because you've got 5 games to go. The best you can do is second. Second is going to be the best silverware you can get. Yeah. So I would put my energy into that. You know what? But
does that then, if he finishes second, is that a successful season? Is that a keep your job worthy season?
Probably not by Kaizer Chiefs standards. Probably not by Kaizer Chiefs standards. Maybe by Royal AM standards, yes. You know what I'm saying? Or Royal AM just coming to the league now, or maybe a Supersport standard. That is something that will be good for them.
For sure.
Orlando Pirates, not AmaZulu, Mamelodi Sundowns. Those are you have those teams in all leagues. You have them in all leagues. For sure. Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United. Those are the 3. The one that's in the doldrums now is Manchester United. They're the ones that everybody's speaking on all the time, and it's exactly what's happening with Kaizer Chiefs now. Kaizer Chiefs are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that's why the people are pecking on them all the time. You understand what I'm saying?
I hear you, Coach. I hear you. I mean, because, the precedent has been set. Ernst came second, he got fired. Gavin came second, he got fired. So the precedent is there that, if you don't get the top prize, it might be time to move you on, especially in this kind of climate where you have the likes of one Patrice Cateron, who's currently, unattached. So, you have a good coach and maybe more than just one available on the market. Could that also then be something that makes them make a decision, coach, in terms of who is available?
Yeah, I'm sure that will do that for the club. They will talk about it. I mean, I don't think Patrice Cateron is good enough for South African football. I personally don't think so. Not because I don't like him. I just don't know. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. But he's not a South African. And I think Kaizer should.
Why, coach? Why do you think? I mean, with such an impressive CV, what do you think he'd struggle with here? If he's done Al Ahly and Zamalek, why would he struggle with the PSL team? In your mind?
Because we have 11 diversities, and he only handled one diversity, which is the ability to speak Egyptian. The Egyptian people know exactly who they are and what they are. South Africa, we have 11 different diversities, and when you have them at your disposal, it is even a little bit more difficult to work with. I think Kaizer can find someone better within the ranks of South African football who can take his team to another level.
Locally, currently unattached, or are you saying are they attached?
No, they're locally unattached and attached. It's how desperate do you want the person to work for you? And how desperate are you looking to change and find out who you want? You understand? I think
what kind of coach do they need then, coach? Without naming names, what style, what profile, what approach in a coach do a side like Chiefs need? Just if you can give us like an not say names, but like a character. What kind of personality do they need?
They need someone who understands South African football, number one. Someone who understands what Kaizer Chiefs, where the history of Kaizer Chiefs come from, where they were strong and why they were strong, and someone who can understand how Kaizer Chiefs need to play in order to beat everybody, and what everybody expects that they play against, what they expect to be playing against. Because at the moment, anybody who comes up against Kaizer Chiefs knows that I can beat Kaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs were not like this 4 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago. They were not like this, and they need to revisit their personnel within the team. That's what they need to do.
And do you think then it needs to be someone like a former legend, someone who's well versed with the club? I mean, obviously, Arthur's a natural assumption. You got the likes of Dr. Khumalo, who has always shown a like for coaching. You got Sean Bartlett, who's been overseas. What is the differentiator to say this guy is Kaizer Chiefs quality and maybe candidate number 2 isn't?
Look, the problem is for me, I don't know if I'm saying the right thing, but the legends of South Africa of Kaizer Chiefs, I don't think they have the character to lead the team. You can get another South African who's able to lead that team in a different way, and get them playing the Kaizer Chiefs way, which is not, it's not easy, but they need to be given the reign. They need to be given the reign to say, here's your team. Can you do it with this team?
Right.
Yes, I can do it with this team. I can do it this way, that way, with this team. You understand? Because everybody who comes in, for example, there's a lot of people looking at the Kaizer Chiefs personnel now and saying, you know what, if they give me this job, 1, 2, 3, 4 is out.
For sure.
No, there has to be someone, I can do it with this team for this amount of time, and then you must get rid of this, get rid of that, because then I can go forward. I'm only giving you an example of what I know is happening in the biggest team in Africa.
Yeah.
There are players there that cannot be moved right now at Ali. There are players that cannot be moved because they run the team. They know the culture of the team, but they also know, play or no play, I give my 110%, and
Sure.
there's no sulking, and that's
Sure.
why the team is so powerful. You get
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
I hear
And
you.
that's
It
why
sounds like
when you get a coach who
professionalism.
comes in and you do your job, because Kamza, we all get paid.
Right.
I'm a coach. We all get paid to do our job. So I do
Yeah.
my job, but there's players who know I get paid, but I don't get paid to scandal.
Right.
I don't get paid to tell someone else that this guy doesn't know what shooting is. This guy doesn't know what it is to turn.
Yeah.
This guy,
Yeah.
you
I
understand?
hear you.
I don't, and unfortunately, that is what happens in some of our teams, and that's why we get failures.
I hear you. That makes a lot of sense, Coach. I mean, obviously some people will point to the fact that, Gavin came in there, couldn't sign anybody. Stuart's come in, he's been able to sign. Whether or not those signings have lived up to, their expected billing is a different question completely. But as management, do you think it's fair that he gets judged on those new faces coming in, or is it at South African clubs he's not the one to kind of lay the entire blame at his feet for? Is it taken into consideration for a coach that we sign you thinking that you're going to bring in the right people, and if you don't, then we can let go of you? Or is Stuart sitting in a situation where he's like, well, this is all a collective effort as far as who gets to come in, so it can't all be my fault? How does it work in South African football as far as clubs? Players that come in, is that all you, Coach? Or is it by consensus? And so that if that player doesn't live up to expectations, it's everyone's decision to reflect on, not just the coaches.
Hamza, we spoke about this last week, and let me tell you, my thing is that South African coaches, most of them, in fact, 99, they don't have the budget. Our clubs don't come to us, yes, 30 million, you sign who you want to sign.
Yeah.
No, I don't run the budget.
So you get given
you
the
understand
budget.
What I'm saying?
Sure. So it's like, here's the amount.
You don't get given the budget. Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho, they have the budget. They get given 250 million.
Right.
Pounds. Yeah. They say, go and buy who you buy.
Right. And the difference here is?
And we don't do that. Just like you said, I don't do that. I put an amount of players outside, and I say, okay, guys, this is what I need. If this is my team, I think I need a left and a right back. I need a striker.
Right.
So go out and tell me what you got.
So it's more, Coach, a case of the club, what the club can afford. You're essentially saying, hey, guys, I need this and this and this. What you can afford, please get it for me.
Exactly. If you can get it, get it. But I can't get it, unlucky. But that's what happens, in my opinion, that's what happened to me. So therefore, it's more or less, like you said, it's a collective thing. Yeah. But when the blame comes, I'm not going to put the blame on Gamza because Gamza went out and got the player for me. No. I'm going to take the square blame because I said, can you get whoever? And you said, yes, I can get him for you. I said, okay, then bring him. And let's work.
I don't know, Coach. It sounds like you end up getting a type of player instead of the player you wanted. So are you briefing in that I need a profile of player as opposed to saying this certain individual?
There are times where you got 3 names and you say, the 3 names. I like all 3 of these players. They have the profile that I want on my team. I want you to get them. But this is A, this is B, this is C. So you come back and you say, I can only get B. A is too expensive and C is not available. But I can get B. If it's my budget, okay, bring B. But then that's our decision, because you couldn't get A because you couldn't afford him, but you got B for me. So it's a two-man decision.
For sure. I still said it was okay. Coach, B was fine. Yeah.
I still said it's okay. Bring him. So therefore I will take the responsibility and I will then try and hone him in to as best as he can in order to play for the team.
Okay. Wow. kind of, it has a bit of a weird, like square and a round peg hole kind of vibe about it, because it just seems, it's literally trying to find someone who can do the job, but not the perfect person for the job. So lastly, on this point, would you take the job at Kaizer Chiefs, coach?
I'm unemployed, Gamza. You can't ask me that now.
Think with your head, not your stomach, coach.
No, that's what I'm thinking with. I'm thinking with my head. I'm unemployed at the moment, so you couldn't ask me that now. I think, honestly speaking, it's not a good question at this time of the season. Why? Because Stuart is still employed.
Yes,
and I give him the respect.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk openly on the show here. And like I said, he is employed. He's still the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect him a lot, so I will not answer. I
there
will
we
not
go.
comment on that.
That is exactly why I asked, because I knew you would have a perfect response for it, a professional one at that. And that's exactly what you gave me. All right, well, Kaizer Chiefs fans, you let us know. Is Stuart Baxter the man for the job? Should he continue? Should he have another crack at it? Does he have what it takes to roll back the years and take it back to the good times? I mean, that was initially the euphoria around his return, coming back to the club, and it's sort of fizzling out. It'll be interesting to see how this one pans out in the long run. But congratulations to Andre Arendse. He walks out with his first victory as the caretaker coach, winning 1-0 then, a good victory for Supersport United. Well, speaking of the same team, I mean, you've got coach Gaetano Tembo getting fired. And then obviously the moment he does, his team goes on and records a victory. That also now speaks about the vacancy, coach. You see the bounce with the players, with Andre there, they get the win. But obviously, some people will be looking as far as a long-term candidate is concerned. I mean, there were rumors that they might be looking into Benny McCarthy at Supersport United. I don't see it. I don't know if it's a good fit. I don't know if Benny will go there with all the kind of financial restrictions that they have. Is that something that he wants to contend with? But what kind of coach? I mean, on the other side, you have someone who knows Kaizer Chiefs, who has to come in and restore the good times. Is that the case, though, with Supersport United, considering the good times that they've had in the past and the current landscape of South African football? Can they get back to that? It strikes me as a time far past in their history, coach, and that now they've turned into a wheeler dealer of a club, which is okay. I mean, you've got different business models that happens to be theirs.
Yeah, look, I said this the other day as well. I said just before they asked Gaetano to vacate this position, I said if Supersport leave Gaetano there and allow him to grow with this team, I give them 1.5 seasons and they will be the best. Why? Because they have a team that's got, I think, eight or 9 under 23 players.
Right.
And they play consistently. They play every week in and week out. And what just happened to Andre, they will always get that in the season. They will always win 1 or 2 of the big teams. Supersport will always beat them. And when you look at the euphoria or the celebration after they beat Kaizer Chiefs, it was going to happen under Gaetano or under Andre.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that is what's going to happen with Supersport in the next 2 or 3 seasons, because they cannot get rid of all those youngsters and bring in 7
superstars,
more experienced players.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They can only bring in maybe 2 or 3 or maybe 1 because of the amount of money that he's going to demand, and then he's still going to have to work with the younger players.
For sure.
So for me, I said, let the current team work together again for a season. Get someone who knows how to work with the young ones and let them carry you to the next level. And in 2 seasons, if you're able to keep them, which in some moment they were not able to keep some of their better young ones, Supersport, or they were selling some of the young ones off in order to maintain the budget, but try and maintain the younger ones and then let them have a go, and you win your 4th trophy or your 5th trophy like you want to.
For sure.
I think that's what Supersport should have thought about before asking Gaetano to leave. But
yeah. I mean, the timing is strange. Yeah, it's towards the end of the season. For all intents and purposes, they operate like a rational, normal club where they do things normally. But this just seemed a bit out of character with so little football left, and they're not in a precarious position on the log. So I'm not quite sure why Stan Matthews went with this line of thinking, but here we are. Let's see how it pans out for Andre Arendse. He's got the rest of the run in. Will it be enough time for him to fashion out a case for his long-term continuity in that role, or will they be forced to go into the market? We're going to look at the results from the weekend, some of the others that came through. TS Galaxy getting a good victory against Sekhukhune there. Coach Siad getting all 3 points in that scenario. AmaZulu, yes. We mentioned it earlier, Coach, with Brandon Trutter getting a good victory against Maritzburg. I'm going to just say all the results, and you're going to pick out the one that sticks out to you the most. Cape Town City and Royal AM played out to a 1-1 draw. So did Gallants and Swallows FC. And then Chippa getting themselves a good victory over Stellenbosch, who, at this stage of the season, it's fair to say, are blowing hot and cold. But Chippa will be very grateful for that 3 points, Coach. But as you can see there, this is one of those things, in our league, if you look away from the log for a week or two, things can change quite drastically. But we're seeing here, a few maybe last kicks of certain teams just trying to fashion out a bit of a situation where they're not, fighting for all the points come the end of the season. Out of those results, is there anyone that stands out for you, Coach, in particular?
Yeah, for what it's worth, I thought that the guys like Sekhukhune, Cape Town City, and the Royal AM, Maritzburg. I thought Maritzburg would. I predicted Maritzburg to win that game against AmaZulu.
AmaZulu,
but AmaZulu beat them 1-0 because Maritzburg, in all respect, they're not sitting in a good position. TS Galaxy, yes, but. The one that surprises me most is Stellies. Stellies have been doing so well, and Sekhukhune as well. They've been doing so well this season. They've been playing real constructive football. How they lost the game, I don't know, because I didn't have an opportunity to see them. But like I say, for me, it just doesn't make sense that the whole year you are doing so well, and the last 5 games, now it looks like you climbed the mountain already. Now you're coming down again. And that for me didn't go well with Stellies and with Sekhukhune, because I thought they were two of the dark horses during the season that was just plodding along, getting their points. Cape Town City and Royal AM, Royal AM, they maintaining, huh?
Yeah,
that's what I like about Royal AM. John has got them to a certain place, and whether they draw, but they'll never lose. They don't look like a team that can lose. And for me, that is a good part, because Cape Town City is not an easy team. Cape Town City under Eric Tinkler is a very, very difficult team, especially in Cape Town. And they were playing in Cape Town, and he comes away with a draw. So for me, that's like a real win at this time of the season. And they can get number 2. In all respect, Royal AM can end up number 2, the way John has got them playing. They're fighting, and when you look at the late goals they score in the 95th minute or the 89th minute, those are good things for me.
Okay. I mean, just to put things into perspective, folks, for those of you watching, the team at the bottom is Baroka. They're sitting on 18 points. And the team in 9th is Golden Arrows on 31. Now, in the unlikely event that Baroka went on and won all their games, they could end up at this current point on just outside the top 8. Just to show you how compact it is at the bottom. 5 games to go, 15 available points. Baroka, aren't going to get all of those, but it kind of leaves it as a bit of a free-for-all for the likes of Gallants, Chippa United, Maritzburg United, TS Galaxy, and Swallows FC, Coach. So many clubs. And we say it every season, but I don't know, it's concerning when you think to yourself that so many teams are still within that relegation possibility, Coach. I mean, I think you're looking at about 5-6 teams that have a realistic chance of being relegated at this point in the season. What does that say about the quality of our league?
if you're just a blind man, then you'll say maybe the league is very good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for me, it shows you that there's no distinct difference between people who buy and people who don't buy, or people that's developing, people that's not developing. You know, you get what I'm saying? There's no difference, and this is my problem. Kamza is, and at the same time, the only people that can really talk about the 13th man is Sundowns, Pirates, and Chiefs.
Yeah,
they can really talk about the 13th man. I mean, I saw 25. I think there was 25 spectators against Supersport and Chiefs. The 25 spectators that were screaming, and the 25 players that went to say thank you. You know, so they looked like 50 people. So that for me is the one key, that no matter where you play, it's not an away game. It's not a home game. Wherever you play, it's the same. The conditions are the same,
right?
Because all our fields are fantastic. So the quality that we're playing against is just not good enough for me this season. I think our quality of football can be a lot better, and we do have the players to play the quality game. What I do see is a lot of teams playing just not to lose. Not to lose.
And I mean, Coach, that's when some of the criticism, I guess, has been leveled at the likes of Coach Back, says that sometimes, you know, you see coaches who are essentially playing for their jobs as opposed to for the entertainment of the club's supporters. How do you balance the two?
You play to entertain the people. Football is an entertainment game.
Yeah.
I always look at it and I say, football is like a band. You know, it's like a band or a DJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you go out and you belong to I don't know what the local South African bands are. I want to think of someone. Let's
see, Springbok News Girls.
Springbok News. Casper Novest. You know, he goes out and he sings.
All right.
Casper sings. And he sings. It doesn't sing properly. Nachis are going to come at him. The beers are going to come at him. They're going to throw him. They're going to throw it at him. They're going to throw it at him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's exactly what football is like. We entertainers. We have to entertain the people first. And what's the ultimate? The ultimate is score the goal. So you have to entertain to score the goal. And if you can do that, then you've got a complete product. But you've got to do it constantly. You cannot say, you know what, today I think I must defend. No.
Yeah.
Don't defend. You 11v11. You 11v11. There's not 12. There's no 12v11 games. I've never seen someone for 7v5. No, there's never.
Yeah.
There's been a 10v11 or 10v7 or something like that.
Yeah.
And you find mad, but it's always 11v11. So you've got to find out how to play the tune, and when you play the tune, when to score the goal. Whether and scoring the goal is hitting the high note, and that's what you got to have, and that's why you get paid to be a coach. Is to get that organization going, that telepathy going with the players. They know that, and that's why you have a preseason, and you know what I'm saying. You have a preseason, and like you see Andre, like you see with Brandon, you have a preseason, and sometimes the preseason works so well that it gets a little bit stale, and Andre comes in and he puts a little bit more pepper on the other side, and remember, and they win the game for you. So those are the things that I always say is that you've got to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't at the end of this tell yourself, you know what, we're getting relegated here.
Yeah.
No, you'll never get relegated if you believe in what you do.
There we go. Fair point. Okay, let's move on to the rest of the continent and check out what's been happening as far as continental football. Of course, the big news is that Orlando Pirates coach Mandla Ncigazi, soon after they lost to Simba SC, his comments took center stage, basically saying that they were treated like animals, and that, you know, there was no sense of hospitality, and how as Africans, how do we do this to each other? I don't know, Coach. Mandla complaining about the Tim Sugazi treatment that they got in Tanzania. So obviously, one would think to ourselves, I don't know when, last I've heard a story of it being amicable between, a South African team going to another country, getting there and having the red carpet rolled out for them. I've always known it to be hostile. Why do you think Mandla Nlikazi got rubbed up the wrong way about this one? I mean, surely he should have known that when you go into the rest of Africa playing these big CAF competitions, all bets are off, and that the other team and that home nation are all going to pile on to you, trying to make it uncomfortable for you and your team.
No, Gamza, I said this the other day as well. When we spoke about them going to Tanzania, I said Tanzania, I was there with Al Ali, beautiful country, beautiful people, very, very nice people. But exactly like you put it now, all bets are off. Come the 90 minutes, all bets are off. And I said, you got to make sure that is done by your people. Right. You've got to make sure that you send someone out there a week before. I think Sundowns done that. You just figure out Sundowns never complain. They know.
Yeah, they've done their due diligence. Someone's gone over there for the recce.
Someone's gone over there. They've done their due diligence. They know that. We don't lose, but they know what Africa's about. And I think it's a long time. I said this earlier in the show. Guys, we are the Europe of Africa. People want to live here. Yeah. People want to beat you. You have got to get stronger skin. You've got to become the crocodiles like they say we are. You know what I'm saying? We've got to get thicker skin. Yeah. We've got to get thicker skin. We've got to get thicker skin if we want to have 16 stars on our shirt. We've got to get it, and we've got to find the people who want it. And I want it. I know Rulani wants it. I know Steve wants it. I know Mangoba wants it. You get what I'm saying? I want to play in this competition. So therefore, if I want to play in this competition, I've got to make sure that my bosses are prepared to want to give me the people who can go out there, who can make everything good for us, so that I cannot do what Mandla does or what Mandla did after the game, because it's serious. It's serious connotations that is thrown at her, and I believe that Simba will go to CAF and complain about it. Yeah, and in all respect, Simba's not a small team. I think Simba's got about 11 million supporters. If I look properly, Ali's got 70. Raja Casablanca's got 15. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And those people, they come to the stadium, throw fire, and they've got all the necessary things that you'll find in Europe. You've got a red thing in your eye. They burning red smoke.
Yeah,
on
the
one
flares
side.
and the lasers and all the smoke bombs and everything.
The flares and the lasers. They've got all of that. They've got all of that. They've got people standing there painted red and white, and they're a crazy fan. They've got a crazy fan base. Yeah. I don't know if Mandla did if Pirates did their homework, but if you see a game between Simba and Yanga, it's like World War I in Africa. Right. They are really fighting against each other. So it's important that you know those things, and it's important, like I said before, that you go into Tanzania. This is what's going to happen.
No, for sure. I mean, you're going to meet some hard fans there. Like the type that, you hear the stories of them going to the team hotel and then singing outside the team hotel all night long, playing music so that the team that's there, to just wear them down, essentially, not being able to get a good night's rest. They use all the little advantages they can to try and unsettle the opponents. But I mean, Pirates are crying that They don't think that Happy's tackle was a foul. They don't understand why the ref didn't go to VAR to check whether it was, a clear and definite penalty. And then they say they had a penalty of their own. So that comes into it as well. He has the one thing off the field. He says on the field, it didn't go our way either. I mean, it just sounds like it's easy to maybe paint the whole picture as being glum. Then maybe people don't look at the result as much. Is this just some good deflection?
As a coach, I never VAR, no VAR, good referee, no good referee. It doesn't matter. I always go out there and I always believe that if you score 1 goal, I score 2 goals. If you score 1 goal and I don't score a goal, then bad luck. On the day the referee didn't make the right decision, I cannot blame him. The 90 minutes are over. But in this competition, I do know the game is not 90 minutes. The game is 180 minutes.
Right.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Now I hear you, Coach. The
game is 180
leg,
minutes.
For sure, yeah.
90 minutes in your yard, the next 90 minutes in my
yard, yeah.
The 90 minutes in my yard is where I'm going to dominate.
The
90 minutes in my yard is where I'm really, really going to go out to. I'm going to make it count so much. And my players are going to make it count so much. And they are going to be so much more cleverer in a lot of situations. So that's how I fight. That's how I will do the CAF championships. You know what I'm saying? That's how I will do it if I have the opportunity to be there with a team like
Coach, losing you a little bit there. Technical glitch. Okay, Coach Kevin Johnson, we're going to see if we can get him back there. Just having a bit of a young technical issue. I think he's back again. Coach, you all good? Those pesky AirPods.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, there you are. You are back. I can hear you. I can see you. And I think folks at home can too.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So we lost you on that last point that you were making.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah.
My point is simple. Forget about everything that happened in Tanzania. Shower them with blessings. Thank you very much, Simba. You did us the best of jobs. You allowed us to be free on the pitch. You gave us this. Paint a better picture.
Yes.
But you know in the back of your mind what they done to you. So
right.
You come in home. You have to come home. When you come home, there's only bread. There
we go.
Yeah.
No, there we go. No, that's a very good point, Coach.
You understand? I'm not going to throw stones when the fire is still hot.
Exactly.
I'm going to give them all the blessings. Thank you very much. The lady's name is Barbara. I know her personally. The one who, the CEO. Thank you, Barbara. You know what? You are fantastic.
She's a sweet lady.
You're a great person. She's a very sweet lady. Very, very clever.
Okay.
Barbara Katosa. She's the CEO of Simba. Very clever. She's very young and she's very powerful. So thank you very much for your hospitality, everything like that. You did well. Thank you.
Yeah,
you
for sure.
have to come. They cannot cancel the trip to Orlando Stadium.
Yeah, it has to be done. Exactly. So you get your pound of flesh then, Coach Mandangazi. Hopefully he's listening and he takes your advice. I mean, the cat's out the bag already. He had his tirade. But like you say, I hope he'll internalize it and maybe come back and think to himself, actually, let me just sort these people out on the field of play and then everything else will take care of itself. We're going to keep it moving now. Mamelodi Sundowns. Surprising result. I think probably, a lot of people expected this steam train to keep on moving, but such is the level of competition in the CAF Champions League that they, didn't find it as easy going against Petro. And we've got some questions that have come in from some Sundowns fans. I'll put those to you in a moment, Coach. But, Coach Mangoba, and I'm sure you and anybody who is a professional football coach wouldn't have taken that kind of encounter lightly. And I mean, his apprehension as to what kind of opponent and what kind of game they're going to have, in the end was right, Coach. They didn't win this one. Not the best Sundowns performance, but if anything, I'll give them that, to your point, they can come here and turn the entire thing around and on its head.
Yes, look. For one point, Gamza, I didn't know Petro. I didn't know what they were like. I haven't seen them play for a long time. They've got some very, 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 very good players. They have some very good players. They have some quick players. They put Sundowns on the back foot for a lot of times, and I think we summed it up, and I think Mangoba summed it up as well to say, you know what? And Rulani said, better they lose that one than the one after this. So, and Sundowns knows what they got to do. They come in here, and I'm sure they will put up a better fight than what I see in the fight they put up there. Those players were very quick. They were quick and they were strong. They were able to get into the box. They were able to push them around. And I think Sundowns have now, maybe it came at the right time for them to sort of get a shake up and say, hey, if we don't wake up here, we out. So by the time they get to Loftus or they get to FNB or wherever they're taking them to, Sundowns will be more than ready. I believe that.
For sure. We've got a question here, Coach, from one of our viewers, Mlamuli, saying, Coach Mangoba spoke of the richness of the squad before facing Petro. He said it'll be the headache. I mean, we've always heard about this term, Coach, a selection headache. Can you have too many players and too many tools as a coach that sometimes, you get into a situation where some of those combinations just don't come off? And to that point, knowing that they have such a rich squad, Mamelodi Sundowns, anything outside of, a finals appearance, would that be good enough for the current team to carry on with the current project or next season's project?
Gamza, I'm the type of coach that I watch all the top teams and I watch all the top players in the world. And when you look at 90% of the top teams, it's the same players that play week in and week out, unless they're injured. The same players. They maybe make one or two changes when they have a bit of a down game,
right? Or
they have a bit of an even game where they can rest somebody and bring someone in.
Sure.
But the most 98% of the time, it's the same players that play.
Right.
So if you have a headache, then you probably haven't been playing the same team all the time. You get what I'm saying? And unfortunately or fortunately for Sundowns, they've been able, because they're so strong in the local league, they've been able to mix and match during the league and test. So maybe that vision has gone a little bit to the side, whereby now they have a headache to say, you know what, we played this one in that game, played this one in that game. Maybe this game is for that one. You see what I'm saying? So maybe that's the predicament that Mangoba was talking about. I'm only assuming. But for me personally as a coach, if I have a team like when I watch all the top teams, the 99% of the players that are playing right through the season.
Okay, no, cool. Well, let's see. I mean, I do believe they have the personnel and the players to turn it around, Coach. But to that point then of the consistency, is it now for this run of league games, these run of cup games in the Champions League, are you saying that it needs to be a tighter core of players for them to kind of make this period happen?
For sure. I believe so. I mean, Manchester City, they top. Liverpool are top. They top teams now. What changes have you seen?
Yeah, it's only 2-3 players and usually up front for legs, you know what I mean? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Unless they get kicked like De Bruyne. The rest is solid. They're there all the time.
Yeah,
it picks itself. And the rest have to just wait and say, when I'm in, I'm in. You're going to have to wait again.
Exactly.
So for now, that's what you need. You need the consistency. And I think Sundowns have that team. They just have to make sure that they put the right one out now to go forward.
I mean, is it a false sense of success of being good when, maybe because someone made this point that maybe they just find the coasting so easy here that, sometimes now when you go into the rest of Africa, because your league games, you're winning by such big margins and you're literally the apex predator in your own league. Come, your commitments in CAF Champions League, then you're going to, almost similar to what they say about the likes of PSG and Bayern, who play in leagues where they're the ones who are dominant. And then come time to come up against other big boys, you get a truer sense of where you're really at.
Exactly. Bayern are out. They're out of the Champions League. And maybe that is what's happening. I don't know. I don't think the coaches that are handling Sunderland at the moment are that naive. I think they realize where they are. They know that they've been kicked. They've been given a wake-up call now against Petra. And they realize that, hey, guys, the next game against them, which is Saturday, is the final of the Champions League for them.
Oh.
The game on Saturday is the final of the CAF Champions League for them.
For sure.
If they win that game, they will not lose the momentum for the next time and the next time. So they've got to win the game by at least 2 goals or more.
There we go. So guys, very competitive leagues are very important, as you can tell, because obviously it just keeps everybody in that league on a high standard, and the teams who then go represent that league on the rest of the continent at a very high standard and able to compete. Okay, so we're going to wrap things up. We finally know the draw for who we're up against in qualification. Coach, I told you about Zim. I told you about Liberia. The other team in Group K, along with Bafana, is Morocco. Easy 3 points there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Play them at FNB.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, just like we're gonna win all those home games and see how that one pans out. But there we go. That's the group. To you who's also watching, what do you make of that? South Africa's chances against Morocco, Zimbabwe, Liberia for a spot at next year's AFCON. It's a tricky group, Coach, especially if those Moroccans come out in full force. That one in the Zim game are quite tricky. Liberia, you kind of hope to yourself that, we can do the double, because if we can't do the double over Liberia, nothing against Liberia, but, there's certainly tougher tests further ahead. Then, Coach, we probably don't have a point being there if we can't get past Liberia.
Liberia? Do you remember George Weah?
I do remember George Weah.
He's Liberian, huh?
Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, yeah.
the only African in I think is one of the only Africans in Africa to get a Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, he's not playing, Coach. So
don't underestimate his presidency as far as football is concerned. That's
that could mean so many things. I don't even want to start lifting the lid on that. I know there's always subtext when you speak, Coach. I know. But Zim also could be disqualified along with Kenya, folks. Remember, they have that FIFA ban, but they're waiting up until 2 weeks before the start of everything. If they haven't sorted it out and they're still in trouble, then they're going to get booted. That's why those two teams couldn't be in the same group as each other, Kenya and Zim. So we'll see how that pans out. Who knows? Maybe we're going to do backdoor and get in with a bye. If Zim don't make it. Just our luck to be in that group. Coach, thank you so much for your time tonight. It's been great hanging out with you and chatting about what's been happening. I hope you enjoy the match, Coach. The two teams that are playing already, one of them has already scored. I don't want to spoil it for you as to which one has scored, but the team has already scored. So I'm going to release you, Coach, so you can go and enjoy that football. Yeah.
Well, always good football. Gamza, thank you for having